Hi everyone, God bless you. Rosalinda Serna here with my husband.
Omar Serna.
And today we'll be continuing our series on relationship. So the last time we were here, we talked a little bit on how we met, and today we wanted to continue on our courtship and how it was dating as a Christian couple. So hopefully we can offer you guys some tips and advice that will serve you well while you're dating or in your relationship with your significant other.
So it is very important that you seek for advice. God is always there. He is the primary advisor, but God always speaks through people and through different ways. So one of the mentors that I had was my pastor. Pastor always, he's always been there, and I remember one day he told me that you were a good person, that you were somebody that would like for me to be with. So that's good. That's good that my pastor always agreed on that. So that's very important that you have the approval of your pastor. To talk to your pastor and let him know how you feel about this significant other.
Right, because many times, I think when we're young, we're so susceptible to love and flattery and infatuation that many times, anyone who comes and says the right things can sweep us off our feet. So it's so important that we have that outside person that we can go to. Hey, you know what? I'm really interested in this person. What do you think about them? And they have a more clear vision, than we do sometimes, because we're kind of blinded by that love. So I encourage you guys highly, if you have a mentor in your life that knows the person that you're interested in, go to them and say, you know what, this is somebody who I'm, potentially seeking a relationship with. What do you think about them? And listen to what they have to say, because sometimes we're so they tell you something and you don't want to hear it, and you're not having it. But sometimes God reveals something to them that it's important that you know. Yeah, and it's so important that you go to that outside person, because sometimes God can reveal to them something that they are able to see more clearly than you are from the inside.
Yeah. It's always a good idea for you to have mentors, and it doesn't have to be a pastor, but if it's your pastor,
right,
great. But it can be somebody else, a youth leader, like my
parent,
or parents, or somebody that is older and can,
wiser,
and wiser, that can tell you. We were young at that time, so it doesn't matter what age you are, but I always seek it for advice.
Right.
Like I said, it's very important that you have God in the center of everything. Like the story of Isaac. Abraham wanted for Isaac to marry somebody from the same family. So it is important that you are seeking for somebody that believes in the same as you,
has the
under
same
God,
mindset.
under God.
Amen. Yeah, definitely someone who has the same mindset, who's willing to grow with you as a person, spiritually. If you see yourself in the future with a ministry, or God has placed in you a calling in your life and you know it already, then make sure the person that you are, joining forces with is someone who also can foresee himself walking with Christ and serving Christ.
Make sure you tell him or her about what are you seeking for the future. Not only in the marriage part, but in your life, as it can be in the ministry, or it can be from work. That way,
career-wise.
Yeah, career-wise, and that way both of you know what to expect, and if that's something that you guys can agree on.
Yeah, I remember when we were already kind of knew, that we saw a future together. He came to me and he talked to me, and we were talking outside for a while, and he was telling me kind of what he saw for the future, for his career, and both for ministry. He saw himself growing in Christ and committing himself more to God, and also growing his business. So definitely those are conversations to be had. And we also talked a little bit on children and thoughts that we had. Obviously, as we evolve our numbers changed because I remember my husband wanted to have 8 kids.
Yeah, I want to have
And we had 3 and we stopped at 3.
Yeah, but you know,
but definitely
talk about stuff like that.
right. We both wanted children, and we both had a desire to serve God and to live for God, and you know, and I was excited to watch him blossom as an entrepreneur. So definitely make sure you're talking about those conversations, those hard conversations with the person that you're potentially, you know, seeking to marry.
Yeah, and then, another advice, you always have you always want to have somebody to chaperone, right?
Definitely. Make sure you always have a chaperone with you when you guys go out on dates. When my husband and I started dating, my sisters were our chaperones, definitely. Mm-hmm. They were always in the car with us. He had a car, he had a truck. So everywhere we went, the girls went with us, and thank God for them always being willing to go with us. We didn't go out to movies or things like that, but we did go mainly to youth activities, to bowling, skating with the youth. Most of our places that we did go out to were
church activities.
Right, church activities.
Once in a while we went, you know, with your sisters to bowling, or I don't think we went skating, right? But probably it was all bowling, but because I remember one of the times, I guess the first you know, date we had. My car broke down, and I remember you know, having a certain time that we needed to go and get back. Mm-hmm. You know, your parents had told us, hey, you need to be back at a certain time. But my car broke down, and thank God I was with a friend, and your sister was there. But you know, that time we didn't even get to go to that place.
Right.
We were there,
and we didn't have any cell phones on hand to make the calls. So I remember being nervous, like my mom is going to be so upset with me because we're late.
Yeah, and we were like, I think like 2 hours late or so. But you know, one of the things that I did, I got off and went to apologize to your parents. You know.
So thankfully, my parents were a little bit more willing to accept his apology because we were out with other people. It wasn't just him and I. I think if we had been out past curfew and we had gotten there, you know, late, it would have been a little bit harder for them to understand the reason why we were late. But because we had other people with us in the car, and like I said, they knew him from church well enough, they were able to see, you know, these things happen. Cars do break down, and you know, they were there to help him out.
Make sure you always have a chaperone
definitely
with you, and you know, by the time we were already getting married, or you know, ready to get married, before I asked you, so here comes again the mentors. You know, I went up to my pastor and told him, hey, you know, I told him about the situation, and he told me, hey, but you're ready to get married. Mm-hmm. You know, my dad also told me. So those are things, those are signs that God puts.
Confirmation.
You know, confirmations. There you go. Confirmations that you are ready
God's plan, right?
to get married. You know, make sure you have those confirmations before you get married. Right. Before you decide, I want to get married. You know, have those confirmations.
Definitely. Like I said in our previous video, the person that you choose to marry is, you know, somebody that you're gonna share the rest of your life with. You know, that is our goal as Christians, you know, to spend the rest of our lives together. So definitely make sure that you're walking into this wide-eyed, open, you know, really looking and checking to see, is this who God has for me? Because it's better for you to learn it during the process of your courtship than after. So make sure that whoever it is that you're dating, you're really keeping out for those red flags and hopefully those green flags that say go ahead. But make sure you have people around you that are there to offer you advice when you need it, and also to offer you correction and guidance. Okay guys, so that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed our video. Please leave any comments or questions down below and give us a thumbs up. God bless you.
Subscribe. Thank you. Bye.